Hey YouTubers, this is Jacques from Jacques Photography, and today I'm doing a revised what's in my camera bag because the last time I did it was almost 2 years ago, and boy have things changed. Before I start this video, you guys, the whole video is based on one premise and one premise only, and I will point you guys to a video. It's a video called I Just Don't Care Anymore. All these spec arguments are okay and they make a lot of sense if you want to buy a camera and have a camera with the most specs on it. But what happened to taking a picture? Like going out and taking a shot. And it has a lot to do with the idea that I don't want to look at specs when I buy new equipment, and I really want to ignore new equipment and shoot as much as possible. So I have a video called Go Out and Shoot and another one called I Just Don't Care Anymore. And I want you guys, it would be a good idea to check those out because the rest of this video is based on that philosophy that I just don't care anymore and I want to go out and shoot. Now, this video is a lot about my evolution and less about what I really have in my bag and what I really use. Now, there are two parts of my workflow. One is video and one is stills. I have decided to separate those two. Initially, when I first did my what's in my camera bag videos, those were two things that were one and the same. Therefore, I had obviously gone Canon. And I say obviously because Canon are the people that satisfy those two realms very well. Now, at that time, now, all you Sony people out there, I will acknowledge that they also do the same thing now, but at the time, I had jumped into Canon almost 4 or 5 years ago. I owned the 60D, I've owned the 6D, now I own the 80D. And so I just wanted to mention that at that time, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, when I did do my camera bag video, it had a lot to do with a video and stills workflow within one camera. About a year ago, I decided to separate those two. Have cameras for stills and cameras for video. Due to that fact, I hopped onto the Fuji system, the X system. So I've been working with the Fuji XT2 and their lenses. So quickly, I'm just going to go through what I do have in my bag, and it will be quickly because you can see all this stuff on my playlist on my channel. You can check out the playlist on the XT2 for this one. So I do have the Fuji XT2 35 f2. I have the battery grip by Fuji as well. I have the most amazing and incredible portrait lens, which is the 56mm f1.2. There we go. I have the 55 to 200 lens, and here is the XT2 with the kit lens, which is the 18 to 55, which I declared a while back as the best kit lens of any camera manufacturer out there. I believe it is a tack sharp, and it's super tack sharp. For a kit lens, it definitely is worth the buy. Obviously, when you talk about the Fuji realm, you are talking about a realm which is in the more expensive range. A lot of the glass, the prices are similar to the Sony range. It's not like Canon where you can get some really affordable, amazing glass. That's what I've always liked about Canon and Nikon. You can get some amazing glass that's affordable. Now, I'm not saying that Panasonic, Fuji, and Sony do not have inexpensive glass that's good, but I'm just saying that Canon, I think, cover that very well. So that is my stills photography, what's in my camera bag workflow. Now, I will just show you a couple of things. I used to have the 6D, and I used to have a lot of great lenses from Canon in the EF range. I had the 7200 f2.8. I had the, what else do I have? Yes, I had the Sigma Art 50mm f1.4. Those two lenses to me are absolutely incredibly amazing lenses. They not only represent the image and give you some nice, beautiful shots, but they also increase the efficiency of your workflow just because they are a fun, fun equipment to work with. The 6D has been a love-hate relationship. The images I get out of that camera were great. I just found that feature-wise, that camera just didn't do the trick that much. I am very happy with my move towards the XT2. I do miss full frame, but that's what I'm about to talk about right now. Now, because I have sold off a lot of my full frame Canon lenses, and I've gone towards the Fuji system, which is APS-C, I have not kept that many Canon lenses. Because I'm a YouTuber, a vlog and blogger, I have kept all the lenses that make a lot of sense for doing YouTube. Now, here are the lenses I own. I own the 16-35 L 2.8 from Canon, which I cannot tell you and state to you how amazing it is. It's so funny because it's filming us right now, but it's just an amazing lens in every way. I've shot fashion with it, street, the whole bit. It's a great lens, and it's a great lens to have on my 80D, which, by the way, is the body I am using right now for filming, for stills, but mostly for my YouTube filming workflow. I have kept mostly vlogging and blogging lenses. So I have the 16-35, which I use inside, and I have this, the Canon 10-18, again, another wolf in sheep's clothing. It's basically the nifty 50 of the zooms, and for all vloggers, it's light, it feels cheap, but the quality of the image that comes out of it is fantastic. I also have a fixed focal wide angle, which is the 24mm STM. It's an EFS lens as well, so it fits on my 80D, no problem. The only thing I've kept in full frame is this right here, and that is the 100mm f2.8 USM macro lens by Canon. Now, this thing right here is a macro lens, and what's really weird about macro lenses is that it's sort of a necessary evil. You always have that time where you want to shoot macro or you want to film macro, but it's very small, the time you need it, but when you do need it, you need it bad. You have to have that macro lens. And when you go to buy one, they are always relatively more expensive than you expected because I guess the glass in them have to be tack sharp. So it's a funny thing. I really did keep this lens because I do use it, especially with my clients who deal with software. And whenever I deal with software, I like to do screen captures, but I also love to actually film the screen and someone navigating on it. When you do something like that, you have to have a macro lens. You have to have a great macro lens. It's like night and day between using a normal lens. So that is about it for my Canon equipment on what I have left. Now, a lot of my workflow is vlog and blog, so I do have a couple of GoPros, a couple of stabilizers. I have a Zhiyun crane for the 80D, and I also have this little thing right here, which I will point you guys to videos about it, but the G7X Mark II, to me, is one of the most amazing cameras. And the big problem with this camera right here is that it's so amazing, and it's so amazing at one thing, this right here. It's so amazing at being light, having super high quality video, and being able to be a selfie camera. So it is one of the ipso facto selfie cameras out there. But what people don't realize is as a stills camera, it really does kick ass. It is one of the best 1-inch sensor stills cameras out there. And a lot of people don't realize that. And the fact that it's pocketable, you just stick it in your pocket, is a really, really cool thing about that camera. So that's all the equipment I do have, guys. Now, again, based on that video I was telling you about, I just don't care anymore. The fact that I really want to stick more to actually doing stuff than actually buying equipment. I do want to talk about what I plan to do. Now, these days, my reality is just blogging and vlogging, so I will be using what I have right now for a little while. There are some really relatively reliable sources that have been saying that there will be, in the next year, 3 Canon mirrorless full frame cameras coming out. I probably will be looking at that later on. And therefore, I'm talking about, I will let them come out. I will let people deal with them. I will look at all the pros and cons of those cameras. And most likely in 2019, when they bring down prices, hopefully bring down prices, on some of those full frames, I will jump in probably on the Canon system. Why, you say? Well, there's a lot of reasons why I want to do that. As much as I do love Sony, Fuji, and all that stuff, I do think that Canon, glass-wise, is way up there. It is really up there for a couple of reasons. They have affordable glass. If you want to jump to really high, super high quality glass, you can also do that in the Canon range. So that might be the next step in the next years. We'll see how it goes. You know, what the most important thing is to go out and take pictures, but it is something that I think would make a lot of sense for me. And so that's what I'm going to be sticking to. So that's all I wanted to tell you guys today. I just wanted to talk about my equipment, what I have, how I'm using it, and where I think it might go in the next year. As you've heard, there's a whole load of equipment. So, you know, I cannot complain that I don't have enough cameras. So there is absolutely no reason for me to not have great photos. I should just go out there and shoot. I don't have that excuse anymore. I have a lot of equipment and it's all there and it's ready to go. I got macros, I got wide angles, I got zooms, I got everything I might need to get the picture. Now, I want to hear from you guys what your equipment is, where you plan to go in the next years. Do you think that the Canon full frame system is going to be promising in the next few years? What it's going to sound like? I have heard big, like really reliable rumors that it's going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that's all I wanted to say for today. So follow, like, subscribe, and don't forget, everybody, keep on making something from nothing.
When they find themselves funny. Now here's the
Look, well, Lily.
She's having a blast alone. The other thick company is Panasonic, and Panasonic made a deal with a company called Leica. Leica makes lenses for them. Panasonic